they celebrated that occasion. Unfortunately, this ended in the 1970s with the new introduction of territorial waters and the introduction of freezer factory ships which decimated the cod fishery. By 1992, there was no more cod fishery anyway. So all that belongs to the past now, except the memories of tens of thousands of Portuguese fishermen who spent their fathers and their grandfathers and great-grandfathers are very familiar with St. John's. So that's where I'm heading this winter. I'm heading for Newfoundland. I've just decided that I'm going there this winter. I usually go, I've gone to Spain for months, but I've spent only 3 weeks in Portugal, but now I have a very good reason to go there. So I will go to that town, and I can just call up the local newspaper and say, I'm John Christopher, and I'm from St. John's, Newfoundland. They'll put it in the paper, and we'll have a big party.
Just like they do in Halifax.
Like I do in Halifax. I'll add photos of my travels, as well as Halifax.
This is the comedy part of the show.
I think we're going to do tin whistle blow.
Switching the keys on again. At least you left the top off.
I think I'm in tin whistle blow. Yeah. Another original song. I actually had a call from Gordon Lightfoot, famous Gordon Lightfoot, about this song in 1974. He made my day. Come gather around and a short tale I'll tell you about a once for out sailing queen and a strange man who sailed her on a November's wind. He sung her in ships over the sea. Hard wind was throwing downhill all around. Headlands still covered by the ocean breeze down. So come all you children to listen to you. Tin whistles blowing that nobody hears. Well, the weather was right as they sailed out of sight, and the sound of the rigging was fine. But away down the shoreline, somewhere in the night, they were breathing down water by night. And the boatswain's tin whistle played over it. Still he kept playing, not missing. So come all you children and listen to me. Tin whistles are blowing that nobody hears. Now the story I'll tell you as it was told to me. I'll hear that pipe playing some night in November when the ocean's crazy or that bosun be playing away. Try to remember when you go out tonight of that old bosun John Samuel Clyde. So come all you children and maybe you'll hear the whistles are blowing that nobody hears. The whistle blowing nobody hears. As I was saying, about the Portuguese arrival in 1900, I was born in 1935, and in 1935 they did an estimate, demographers estimated how many Portuguese sailors and fishermen had stayed in Newfoundland since 1470, and they think there were 6,000 Portuguese people who actually came to St. John, who stayed, but they didn't stay for very long. Now we have only 2 families. They're very well known. Mr. De Silva, who's now retired, he may be dead. He was one of the local barbers for 40, 50 years. He was a stowaway from Portugal when he was 13. And he found a new life for himself in St. John's, married a local Irish girl, had 7 children, and now everybody knows the De Silvas. They're great musicians. So the rest of them moved on to Montreal and Toronto and points west, I guess. Spoons. Tickle Cove Pond, another Newfoundland traditional song. I think this one was penned in around 1850. Well, it's cutting and hauling and frosting and snow. We're up against troubles few people know. Only with courage and patience and grit and even painful to keep ourselves hard and easy we think it as comes, and when country's over we shorten our run. To hurry my haul in the spring coming on, there cost me my mare out on Newfoundland Pond. Well, we knew that the ice became weaker each day, but still took the risk and kept hauling away. One evening in April the pound gave the sky, and down to our necks went Portuguese and I. If I had taken wise Kitty's advice, never would take the shortcut on the ice. Poor creature, she's dead now, poor creature, she's gone. I will ne'er get my mare out of Newfoundland Pond. Well, I raised an alarm you could hear for a mile, and the neighbors came out in a very short while. You can always rely on the old Fritz and Whites to offer assistance in all your bad plights. Now the poor neighbor, that's part of their lives, the same I can say for their children and wives. When the bowline was fastened around the mare's breast, William White wore a shanty sock very glad. No time for thinking, no time for delay. Right from his head came the song right away. Oh, lay hold, lay hold, lay hold of that forty gentle on your mind. Lay hold of the bowline and pull all you can, and give me a bit on the pond. Lay hold, William Oldford, lay hold, William White. Lay hold of the bowline and pull all your might. Lay hold of the cordage and pull all you can, and that we rock it out of the Newfoundland Pond. And with that we rock it out of the Newfoundland Pond. And with that we rock it out of the Newfoundland Pond. Thank you. Going to do a couple more tape bird tunes now, I think. In 1955, it was the 100th anniversary of the construction opening of the RC Cathedral in St. John's, and the Pope turned it into a basilica, into a basilica, and the 4,000 Portuguese fishermen were in the town. Now, this is an amazing story. That 4,000 Portuguese fishermen marched from the harbor to the basilica, holding a 3.5-foot high statue, a religious statue of the Lady of Fatima, who gave it to the church. And of course, we all lined the streets in amazement to see this sight unfold before our eyes. The 4,000 Portuguese Grand Banks fishermen were marching through our streets, taking this statue to the basilica. Quite an astonishing thing. So they had a few celebrations like that. In 1865, there was another one. But it was a very warm, cordial relationship between the two countries, and an economic backbone of Portugal's economy and Newfoundland's economy, all in praise of the cod. Long live the cod!
trust.
In God we trust. I'm going to have to go with a little guitar. Jim owns a little guitar called we call it a baby guitar, but it sounds good for certain Portuguese songs.
Do you want that?
Yeah. Oh, this is thanks. So this sort of sounds like a little Portuguese guitar. Got an ovation back on it. Otherwise, it's just like a really strung guitar. It sounds like a strung guitar. See, it sounds a little.
Don't forget getting out of town on her.
Boy. This is what they call a coladeira. It's faster than their warnings. It's an up-tempo African type of song. Called Petit Pays, Little Country. Another coladeira. So that sort of sounds like a Portuguese guitar.
Sounds like a cabin.
Yeah, it sure does. So anyway, the Portuguese, last Portuguese vessel came and left St. John's Harbor in 1974. Thank you. In celebrate when they signed the territorial inland waters around the Maritime province of Newfoundland. And know the foreign vessels had to fish on the nose and the tail of the Grand Banks.